All right, we are live. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. I'm trying to go live right from the group here to see if this works. I'll give just a second to see if this notifies people and people jump on. I want to give you a Monday Mindset. I want to try to just encourage you this morning that if you're at a place where you are, not giving up, but a little bit frustrated, just don't give up. Things do happen. They just don't maybe happen in the time frame that you want them to happen. I had an amazing thing happen last week for me that I want to share with you guys that was years and years in the making. And it was something that I had on our vision board. And, it didn't happen in the time frame I wanted it to happen. It didn't happen exactly how I envisioned it even to happen. But it actually came to fruition last week, which is pretty amazing. So it is Monday. Let me see and make sure. It looks like we have some viewers on. Let me see if I can see the comments on this. I haven't actually used Facebook's live group setting yet. Lily, good to see you. So it looks like it's working. So I want to talk to you guys. I don't have the intro queued up because I couldn't really figure out how to do the intro here in this Facebook Live dashboard on Facebook. But I want to give you kind of two thoughts today on, hey, look, wherever you're at in your journey in business and your journey in sales, number one thing that you will hear over and over again from every motivational speaker, every entrepreneur, whether you go to these events or don't go to these events, if you listen to successful people, they will tell you it comes down to really two things. It comes down to your willingness to not give up and your discipline to do the things you don't want to do. If you think about success, here's how I would frame up success. It's doing what you don't want to do, when you don't want to do it, at the highest level for long periods of time. Like that is really success. Like if you want to teach someone, hey, how do you be successful in life? What I've seen is, hey, show up and do what you don't want to do, especially when you don't want to do it. Like when's the best day to go to the gym? The day you don't want to go. Do it at the highest level, meaning with the greatest attitude, with the greatest effort, with the greatest intention, and do that for long periods of time. And if you just implement that philosophy in your life, you will be successful. But I want to encourage you that, hey, successful people will tell you that it is about never giving up and then having the discipline to show up every single day. And about 6 years, almost 7 years ago, what was interesting is Andrew and I, Andrew Saxo, my VP of corporate sales that you guys see at all these events, we were at an event in Phoenix, Arizona. It was actually a True Choice financial event. And we were sitting at our booth. And what was amazing was our booth started to get a ton of people coming over. And we were like, hey, man, what's going on? And it come to find out that Brian Harris, one of our clients, had spoken from stage that day. And Brian Harris is just a beast of a financial advisor down in Annapolis, Maryland, top 1% in the world. And shame on us, but we have thousands of clients. We didn't really know Brian personally at that time. And we found out he spoke that day. He shared on stage about his systems and his business, and we were part of his business and systems. He was using our magazine, still is. And so it just caused a ton of people to come out to our booth and sign up for our program, which was pretty amazing. And at that moment, Andrew and I said, man, we need to make it one of our goals for me to speak on stages. This is not something I was doing at the time. I think we had maybe just started the podcast at this point in time, so it really wasn't anything. I really wasn't a speaker or anything like that, but we said, man, this stage effect is something that is just incredible because Brian was on stage and look at all the flow of people, and we were just starting to sponsor conferences and do kind of the road circuit thing. And so we made it a goal that, hey, I'm going to get on stages. And we put that on our vision board, and Andrew and I have talked about it often. We've pushed for it. In fact, we go to so many events now, but just so you guys know the event game, a lot of people don't realize that in the event game that your sponsor, right, it's 20 grand to sponsor these booths, 30 grand to sponsor. I think the cheapest ones that I've seen are like 5 grand for these conferences that we go to. And we're going to like 60 of these this year. So we have a massive budget for conferences at this point to try to grow our business. And, part of the speaking that I've done, it's all been, okay, we're sponsoring a booth. We're basically essentially paying you, for lack of a better word, and you give me an opportunity to speak. So I've never been invited to a big stage to be a keynote speaker without some form of like, I'm paying whether it's through a booth or sponsoring your event, so you let me speak. And I understand why. This is how a conference makes its money. Like, this is how they pay for the event. But Andrew and I were like, wouldn't it be amazing, because we spend all this money, that I could become so valuable as a speaker and deliver so much value to the audience that they would, in exchange for wanting me to speak, they would give us a booth as payment, or they would write me a check to pay. And it was one of our goals, because I'm not a big name like a Gary Vee. They get paid to speak, right? The Russell Brunsons of the world. But there's two models that usually take place out on the conference circuit. One is you're sponsoring, and so depending on your sponsorship level, they give you breakout sessions, or they give you stage time, or you just have a booth. And then the other is, if they let you speak on stage, you have some affiliates deal with them. So you take like Russell Brunson's famous talk that he did at 10X, where he made $3 million in 1 hour. Well, he split those proceeds with Grant Cardone. And so, those are kind of the two models. And I was a little bit, I shouldn't say a little bit, I was a lot of it in the beginning years, because I was immature and didn't really understand the game, opposed to paying. I was like, oh man, to pay to speak on stage, all this stuff, it seems, not real. But I realized, okay, that's the game. But my goal was to get to a place where I delivered so much value that somebody would see it, that they would call and they would go, hey, we'd love for you to come and be a keynote speaker at our conference. And in exchange for, you coming, like, we'll give you a booth for free, we'll give you, all this time. So I speak at Medicare Con in Vegas. And shout out to Justin Brock, and then they put on an incredible event. It really was fantastic. The community there, if any of you guys were there, hit it in the comments when you watch this. But it was a fantastic event. And I was speaking at Medicare Con, and we were sponsoring that event. So, I didn't have to pay to be on stage, but I paid to sponsor the event. So it's kind of the same thing. It wasn't like they called me and said, Luke, we got to have you at our conference. Well, AGA Insurance, and if any of you guys were the AGA Insurance, shout out to you. But they were at this event at Medicare Con, and they had been trying to get us to sponsor their conference for like 20 grand. And, we love AGA, but we hadn't decided if we're going to go out there or not. Well, after they see me speak, they call me up. And Joanne calls me up and goes, Luke, I saw you speak at 1%. Oh, this is another great point. They had seen me originally speak. She had originally seen me speak at a Cody Askins event. I was speaking at his event of 1%. She goes, then I saw at Medicare Con, and we just want you to come and speak to our insurance agents at our conference in Anaheim. There's probably going to be about 700 insurance agents there. We want you to come and motivate them. And she goes, thank you. We'd love to have you come speak. We'll give you a booth for free. And so literally what we had on our vision board of someone calling us and us not having to call them and actually pay to be a sponsor or pay to get me on stage, someone calling us, allowing me to speak and giving us a booth for free happened. And the reason why I share that with you, it was a major thing for me, because it didn't happen in the time frame. Notice I started out saying it was 6 years ago, I think, where we were at Phoenix, Arizona, and we've had it on our vision board for 6 years, and I've done a bunch of panels and speaking, but there's always been some sponsorship involved. It's been 6 years, so it didn't happen in the time frame I wanted. And it was with insurance. And quite frankly, I have a bigger client base and bigger brand in the real estate industry. I thought for sure I would be speaking more on real estate stages at this point. But insurance has really taken off for us, and I'm speaking more at insurance conferences more than ever, and actually in real estate, which is kind of crazy. And so it didn't happen in the time frame I wanted, didn't happen exactly with the details I wanted, but it ended up happening. And the amount of times Andrew and I have been frustrated over the years of, man, why can't people just see the value? Don't they see, what's happening? And we just kept persisting through and kept showing up and kept trying to make it happen. And then for the first time, really, it happened last week, which is just amazing testament that I hope encourages you. Don't give up. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, persist through. Do not give up. It might not happen in the time frame. It more than likely will not happen in the time frame. It might not happen with the exact details that you think it's going to happen, but it will happen. And so, it's just one time. I'm hoping that it will keep happening. I'm going to keep persisting through till it does. But it was just a reminder to me of, you rarely achieve in life what you don't visualize in your brain. Like, you rarely ever achieve things that you haven't thought about up here, that you haven't visualized. And if you want to try to get even better about where you're at in life, start visualizing where you want to be. It's not some woohoo type thing. I'm talking about, you know how you daydream when you buy a lottery ticket of what you're going to do with all the money that you're going to win? The same applies to your business. Sit down and daydream about who you're going to be and about what your business is going to look like and about what you want to accomplish and about the impact you're going to make. Because as you visualize that, as you daydream about that, as you see that, your brain starts thinking about it. And what you think about, you tend to focus on. And what you focus on, your energy tends to go to. We all know the psychology behind success. And so I would just encourage you, if you thought about giving up, don't give up. Keep going. So many people give up right before they strike gold, as they say. And, another lesson that came out of it for me is that, in the beginning years, I wasn't nearly as fast to paying and sponsoring and supporting like I should have been. And what I mean by that is that, I kind of held back because I wanted people to see the value that I brought. And I felt like if I paid to be on stage, it felt weird. And eventually I ended up paying to be a part of the Ultimate Agent Tour, which the Ultimate Agent Tour, shout out to Cody, awesome speaking thing that we did like 6 cities, I think, in like a couple days or whatever it was. And that then got me to speak at his 1% event of these agency owners. That's where AGA first saw me, but nothing happened then. And then I kept going. And that Cody built the trust with Cody for me as a speaker, and he saw that I was supporting what he does to allow me the opportunity to speak on his main stage at 8%, which that then got me a nice speaking video and reel and built trust where I got it out to more people. That got me speaking at so many other places, ultimately at Medicare Con in Vegas, which AGA was there again, saw me speak there, and then eventually now they've reached out to me because of the value that they saw to have me speak to their people. So I wish in the beginning I would have been way more, hey, this is how it works, go all in, just give. We say it all the time, but I'm human just like everybody else. You want to take before you give. And so just another reminder for me of like, man, I wish I would have compressed the time frame that it happened in by being a little bit more open. So just want to encourage you today. That's something that happened to me in my life last week that I've been pushing for the last 6 years. It's only happened one time, but I'm going to keep pushing and make it happen again and again and again. So whatever that thing is for you, don't give up. Successful people will tell you 2 things. Never give up and have the discipline to show up every day and do the things you don't want to do, right? What is success? Showing up, doing what you don't want to do, when you don't want to do it, at the highest level for long periods of time. And you do that, you will win. Appreciate you guys. Leslie, thank you for saying that. Appreciate you. Thank you, Melissa, for tuning in. Alicio, man, good to see you. I know we're getting together soon at Top Golf, so I'm looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great day. Get out there and win for your family, for your friends. Let's make it happen this week. Happy Monday. See ya.